women inherently, like for biological and psychological reasons, want to be mothers, right? The drive to reproduce, especially in women, the drive to be mothers is extremely strong. Most women, if there's any ladies watching this, you probably had baby fever at some point when you're young. It's pretty common. We tend to beat it out of women when they're young these days, but that drive is there. Susan B. Anthony also said that women's liberation would have never happened if we left it up to women because they are too family oriented and they are too conservative. And so we have to get the men behind it to push this. And the way they did that was through the sexual revolution and convincing men that, hey, look, you can get all this free sex with no strings attached. Doesn't that sound great? You don't have to court some lady and marry her and support her. You can just have sex with her. You can just be friends. Won't that be great? Well, and a lot of men did think that, like, especially my dad's generation, they thought, well, that sounds cool. We'll go to like Woodstock and get some free love, man. Well, 20 years down the road, they're getting taken to the cleaners in family court and losing half of everything they've ever worked for. And their lives are destroyed. And they're like, wow, maybe that wasn't a great trade-off. So Thomas Sowell always said there's no solutions, only trade-offs. I don't think the trade-offs we've seen from feminism have been good for anyone, not for men, not for women, not for children. And I think if we can make it cool again to be moms, this is what I always say the point of my work is. Everyone's like, well, what do you want out of all this? I want to make it cool for a 5-year-old girl, for somebody to say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And if she says, I want to be a mom, for that to be a valid response, because it isn't right now. If you ask a little girl what she wants to be when she grows up, she thinks she has to say, I want to be an astronaut or the president or a CEO of a corporation. Little girls play with baby dolls for a reason. We have a maternal instinct, but right now the culture literally beats it out of us. I know this myself because I have 5 children and I've been called every slur you can think of. I've been called a baby factory. I've been accused of being brainwashed, that I couldn't hack it in the career world. I must not be smart and that's why I'm a stay-at-home mom. These kind of things. And I think we can, just as the culture got shifted one way, it can be shifted back. And I think men have a lot more power than they realize to do this. Women still want male attention. And right now, women think the way to get male attention is to be an Instagram booby girl or, a live streamer with lots of cleavage, or to start an OnlyFans, right? That's what girls think is success. And I think if the more high value men, the successful men, start to kind of require, look, no, I value chastity. I value a woman who wants leadership from me. I value a woman who wants to raise her own children herself and not put our children in a daycare for 40 or 50 hours a week. I value a traditional woman that wants to stay married to me. If men start to make that the cool thing, you will see women's behavior change pretty quickly because they still do want male attention. And if you make it acceptable and laudable and respectable again, and you make housewives and mothers venerated again, more women will choose that. If it's of any consolation to the guys out there, I get dozens of messages a week from women who are telling me things like, I'm in my 3rd year of dental school and all I want to do is quit and marry my boyfriend and have babies, but my parents won't understand, my friends will think I'm crazy. They just don't feel like it's even an acceptable choice. And they're talking to me, some strange lady on the internet who wrote a book, because they don't know who else they can say that to. Yeah. And it would blow your mind. I think I'll do a stream where the women who give me permission, if I block out their name, like I'll show some of what they're trying to say, because they do feel tremendous pressure. Like, I have to be a career woman. My parents expect me to use my education and work a job. And I feel like I'm not worthy if I'm not doing these things and living this way. And women don't want to be the only one, right? You don't want to be the only one in your friend group who doesn't have a job and doesn't go to college. That was me, and it's hard. So if we can create more support for women to be women again, I really think that they will. 95% of the time you will ever spend with your children is gone by the time they turn 18. And that's it. And you don't ever get it back. So if we encourage that in women and we make it cool again, most of them are going to want that. Now, as far as like the socioeconomic portion, feminism is kind of, it's almost ending itself. Because as we said, there's this crashing birth rate, economic instability. We're in a recession right now. The supply chains have been disrupted since 2020, and that's not really improving like they told us it would. And we have a labor shortage. We have this epidemic of lonely elderly people with nobody to take care of them. We have an epidemic of younger lonely men, the historical cycle that we see of the rise of an empire peaks, and right as it's on the decline, that's when we see feminism emerge. So there's like precedent for this in the Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire and in other empires through history. So I'm hoping we don't have to go through that cycle, but we may.